Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call, the Star Citizen podcast where we sometimes create a topic and talk pretty much just about that topic, have people call in and give our platform to you guys, the Star Citizen community, so you could talk about whatever that topic might be. It's done with myself, SaltEMike, Croncy as well. Both Twitch streamers, so we kind of record this live on Twitch, but we also do it on YouTube as well, so you guys can watch wherever you want, and I don't know. That's the intro. I'm tired. Shittiest intro we've had all year. My apologies. Don't really care. Today's topic is, what do you want from medical gameplay? We know that the the Apollo is coming. I have the Ursa in my head because we're going to play a funny video, but the Apollo is coming, and they said that medical gameplay is going to change with that. Outside of that, I don't know. We don't know anything. So this is kind of an open book, and we can figure out what we want from it. We could talk about what we want from it and have some fun theory crafting, I guess. But before we do, we usually first talk about how we were for the last week, because Croncy and I haven't spoken to each other until right now. So we could say how we're doing. And then a little bit of news, because nothing really happened this week of too much significance. And then we'll get into the topic. So if you guys want to call in, ! podcast in my channel, I think that will pop up. And on Twitch or on YouTube, it should be in the description. So what have you been up to, Croncy? I think you just had a baby shower, right?
Yeah, had a baby shower today, which is very cool. Did you know babies are incredibly cheap when all of your friends and everyone buy you everything? It's great. It's lovely.
They're cheap until that stuff runs out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see actually how long that lasts. But it was very, very cool. It was very enjoyable. But it also led to this great story I'm about to tell you. So, two people that were at the baby shower. One of them is the person who actually originally got me into Star Citizen. He was I think he was a Kickstarter backer.
Oh shit! Okay.
He doesn't follow it very much anymore. He just asks me every now and then, "What's the deal with it?" and stuff. But he was there, and then another friend of mine was also there that we also did like a ton with. We were always trying to like, hey, we want to be game designers, right? Like when we were like 17, 18.
Yeah.
We have a bigger scam for you than Star Citizen. All right. We were making it was a big popular thing in like 2011, 2012 to make like custom maps for Left 4 Dead, for Counter-Strike, just Gmod general like custom maps.
Okay.
And we were making one. I need to give you this context, but it's not relevant as to why it's a scam. But it's kind of messed up. We made one of our school an FPS an FPS shooter game of our school.
And you're young. So like that wasn't a thing when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That started when I was a kid.
But that's crazy, Mike. That is something straight out of like someone's manifesto, right? Like,
but you're not American either.
That's true, right?
So it'd be totally different if you were American.
Yeah. We just wanted a map, like, hey, we know our school. We've been there. There's places we know. We just want to play it. Yeah. So absolutely insane. That's the crazy part.
Yep. You're on a list now for sure, though, as people are saying in the chat.
There's no way we're not.
That's crazy.
And like I think we only realized it like 5 years ago too. We were like, wait a second. What the hell did we do? But the reason it's a big scam is we went back through, we had like made like a Facebook page and stuff for it to like let people know when the map was coming out and stuff. The last post as of 2014, that map is going to be released at the end of 2014, start of 2015. So bigger scam than Star Citizen.
No, at least it never happened. Well, it doesn't.
There you go.
Here's the thing though. The main, like, it is going to be released stuff. You're the same amount of scam. Squadron 42 still not out yet. 2016. True. Answer the call. Now it's hold the line. What's it going to be? What's it going to be next month? Who knows? But yeah, I have been trying to play SC, and I have almost quit streaming every day this week, I think.
Rough.
Trying to play during a free fly, not the best idea.
Yep.
Quantum travel is pain. The patrol missions, the satellites aren't showing up. So it's like, woosah. Quite annoying. And I'm quite unmotivated by Star Citizen at the moment. 4.3, very cool location, very cool kind of story, but no meat on the bone for me necessarily. And I'm
not
really,
enough to keep you at least.
not enough to keep me like going for a month even, and that's wouldn't be true of any of the other patches. Hathor, Wicklow, that kind of stuff keeps me going quite consistently. But the newer content, not that interesting for me. Also, the endless NBC spawning is kind of annoying to deal with.
Yes, huge problem. I saw specifically today someone mentioning that they couldn't even do like the irradiated Valakar.
Because there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just you have no reasonable way of doing a lot of fun content just because of this kind of bug, right?
Yep.
The kind of bug that really should be a turn off the game and fix it, right?
Yeah. It's pretty annoying. And then like I had them bounce me. It was like a Halo super jump. Like up like 2 levels in one of the stairwells. It was wild because they were just bumping into me. It was just, there were so many, so it was really goofy. But yeah, that's kind of been the week as far as playing. As far as news goes, I think we can maybe start out with Ship Showdown stuff. They're like, I already mentioned a free fly, so. Are you upset about the results of any of these things?
Yeah, I was, but I mentioned that during the pod last week, which is come on, guys, the mole deserves more love. I am just happy in the first place that a top 16 this year, because if I remember correctly, a top 16 the year it came out, which was the second year ever of Ship Showdown, and then it never top 16'd ever again until this year.
Yeah.
So like, maybe I can convince people to claw back for next year. Otherwise, not so much. I don't really care too much about some of the other fights. A lot of them are like ones that I would have voted for anyway.
The Vulture lost. I'm annoyed by that.
To the Zeus, right? Lost to the Zeus.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always going to. It's another one of those that like you can sort of figure out a lot of the time by the popularity of the ship what's going to get there, which is what I was about to say in regards to the Polaris.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Polaris could ever lose at this point.
Compared to like
coming up.
Looking at all the other ships, maybe the Asgard can beat it. That's about it. It's going to be Asgard against Polaris.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. But there was a free fly. Everybody got these 16 ships or 8 ships.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yep.
And that means everybody in the game got a Polaris. That's insane. That's insane.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did we also, everyone got a Polaris at the end of during IAE, right? Last year.
I don't remember. I think it was subscribers got it or something. Well, IAE is different, yeah, because you can rent everything.
Yeah, I meant more as in like it's not necessarily a new thing with the Polaris. If it was like everyone got an Idris, then I'd be like, oh, that's crazy.
I mean, they're pretty equal as far as just resource hogs, I would say. I think people have more problems with frame rate on the Polaris right now than Idris, actually. Like, there's weird things where they go down to like 2 FPS for whatever reason. But this is the first vote of the next round, and I voted for the Gladiator because it's like, please give this ship some love. It's so bad. And then the Asgard is just the example of power creep to me, which I'm just like, this is such a bad example, and they just keep feeding into these bad examples over and over again. The community just keeps screwing itself over with stuff like this.
It seems to be a thing as well of like one of the other main motivators for people's votes is, does this thing need work? Which I like that kind of. Yeah. Like, hey guys, please fix my ship or like give it something.
Absolutely, and the gladiators needed that for forever, basically. So
Yeah.
that ship showdown, free fly plus that. Roadmap update next, real quick.
Yeah. So, once again, most of the stuff that we kind of already knew was, well, at least planned to come in 4.3.1, just moved to tentative, which
Bunch
my
of stuff that was
understanding
supposed
is
to be in
tentative.
4.3.
Yeah. And my understanding of tentative, the way they've talked about it before, is tentative is like 80% to release with the patch. Committed is 99 or 95% to release with the patch. So we're still going to wait a little bit. But they talk a little bit about the science wing, which I'm really excited by, because I would also like to, if you call in today, I would like to hear some theories. Yeah, it's Dr. Jarrett's lab. What's he doing down there? What's he getting up to? Now that the patch has been out for a little bit, there's been a lot of theories going around. The big one that we were talking today in the stream just before we started, just before I came over, was all right. So the Ibrahim Sphere tech was found through the Vandal. From the lore that we looked at, it is not known whether or not the Vandal created it, right? Or if it was like someone else, but it was found through the Vandal. We have the Vandal ship in the facility that has the crazy, hey, insert some biomass into it. What if Jarrett is trying to send his consciousness into a Vandal, very like lizard man from Spider-Man type thing, right? Like, I will become the ultimate alien form. So that's where I'm at.
Maybe. I think we're gonna fight a Vandal.
It feels like that's the route it's going around somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like
an irradiated Vandal or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we're gonna get, but I don't know. That was like that's like the thing. Like, this is the patch, right? Is
that's the
opening up the wing
thing.
Yeah. The other stuff is kind of what the topic will be about today. The Apollo stuff, we'll hold that for now. This was interesting. The bearing laser cannon art refactor, just because it's like, why? I don't get it. Probably just a new hire little onboarding kind of thing. FPS
or possibly
turrets,
like it's what the bearing weapons got turned into in
Squadron.
And it's like yeah.
This is one of my most important for hopefully PvP security type situations in the future. But right now it is just a PvE challenge, and then mission pickup locations, which is sometimes when you go to a location, you will have a mission pop up, like every other game we've ever played, probably, right? So no big deal there.
Which my hope for that would be, like, you can go to an ASD facility, and instead of grabbing the mission from the guy every time and going to a different location every time, is that you can just pick them up as you're going through and just chain them. That would be.
I hope so. I hope we stay in the facility that we're in, because that's how the story is being told. So it's very weird. It's still just so, it breaks up the story. It's very weird.
Yeah.
That was the roadmap update. 4.3. Like, it's okay to be light on content. It's okay to look at this and go, oh, there's nothing there. Right? So long as they fix other things. And they did not do that in 4.3. They broke more than they fixed, in my opinion, of the player-facing things that people do on a regular basis. They broke more than they fixed. If they are going to learn their lesson, take their time, things like that, this patch should be light on the content side, heavy on the fixing side. We still don't have a PTU. We don't know what fixes are coming in. We don't know what's there. Niku mentioned this week about the hot fixing on the live servers, the NPC spawning issue. So you're not waiting for a PTU for that, but that never happened this week. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting in the wings for this. Hopefully, if we wait a whole week for a PTU like this, that the first PTU goes to Evo for a day, maybe an hour, and then it goes to full PTU like we saw last time as well, and it's more polished and things like that. That was the expectation for 4.3, though. Polished, and we got no polish. So it's same old song and dance. And with everybody, I don't know how full on deck they are for CitizenCon, given that it's supposed to be CitizenCon Direct. It's not supposed to take up too much time. So,
Yep.
Not quite
And
sure.
you would imagine it's mostly Jared and the team that are like, where it's like the majority of their time is being used, right?
Yeah, let's interview guys, and then they make the video to coincide with that, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I have no idea. But anything else before we go into the main topic?
I'll just say it's also interesting. Like the last few months, the Evo Cardi PTUs have been like really, really quickly after release of patch. Like I think last month it was literally within like 3-4 days of release. They were cooking Evo. They were telling us they were cooking Evo Cardi. So I wonder why it's taking a little bit longer this time. Maybe you're 100% right. Maybe they've just got CitizenCon stuff. I don't know.
I mean, they said they want to get it right. They said, with the whole when Jared came on and made all the bullshit excuses for the freight elevator stuff, it was, this is why we're taking our time on these things. This is why we're breaking up 4.3 into multiple releases. And it's like, okay, good, right? Everyone is happy that you want the game to be better. Who's going to argue with you with that? But actually make it better. Don't make it better for your ship sale like you do every time. It's like, come on, man.
Yep.
But yeah. Sneak peek was a medical bay.
Yes. Yeah. As a way to transition to kind of the main topic today. So yeah, this is the Polaris. Sorry, not the Polaris. The Apollo Meta Bay. It's a
tier 1 bed. It's a tier 1 bed in the med bay. We get to look outside, I guess. Wow, very cool.
Yep.
It's just telling us that, like, hey, this is one of the options.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the big kind of thing here is with the Apollo coming in, they said that they're going to let us know about some changes to medical gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a viewer of mine that I met at a Bar Citizen years ago. We live we're neighbors. We live in the same town. And he loves medical gameplay. Comments on every one of my videos about beacons not working and these things. Like, that's what he likes to do. Yeah. And that's great. So I prefaced the podcast with the YouTube lives and Twitch streams while you were getting a drink to say, hey, when we talk about this topic, we could definitely talk about it from a medical career standpoint of that's what I do, right? You're a miner, you're a salvager, or you're a medical guy, I guess, That's cool.
They're called medics, Mike.
I forgot about that, but yeah, okay. Or you could be a medic if you want. And
a medical doctor person, whatever that is.
But don't forget that there's also true. There's also the fact that every player deals with injuries and deals with medical. So make sure you talk about it from that standpoint as well if you want to. So I don't know. I'll give you the floor. What comes to your mind of what you would like to see changed, added, gotten rid of completely?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want for medical gameplay?
So I talked a little bit about this last week. Like, I like support roles in games, but like less so in FPS games.
Mm-hmm.
As in for myself, not just in general. I don't want supports to be existing. So for me, it is more about the immediate how does it interact with me, and I mean, we'll start with the obvious one, which is like the injury tier system. It feels like if someone was to just raw tell me how the injury tier system worked, it would sound good. In practice, I just don't like it, and the way that it's been implemented. I do not like the feel bad of how sometimes just how aggressive the injuries can be. Like, you can get a single tier 2. It was most obvious during Siege of Orison where you're running around the whole thing. You get a single tier 2 and it was so brutal that, like, if you weren't medding up constantly, it was hard to participate at all because people could just run past you, run ahead of you. And then if you were getting meted up all that whole time, you then at some point were too drugged to be able to do anything, right? Like the blood drug stuff started to be bad.
And they kind of dealt with that. They've improved on that since Siege, I feel like, a little bit.
For sure, yeah. But it was very like, you want punishing systems to exist, but I feel like it was too punishing without a interesting mechanic to make it less. Like, you were either stuck with being overdrugged and not being able to participate, being too injured and not being able to participate, or backspacing. And if you backspaced, you're now behind 20 minutes. All three of those options suck. There needs to have been that fourth option that still doesn't really exist of like in-field operations. Give me someone that can bring me back from that at the cost of resources, time, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, it's weird. You kind of have it with the Medgun of stabilizing your arm for a period of time, but the way it's balanced is not great because of the overstimming yourself. And
exactly.
It's just not been the best experience. I feel like the Medpen, all the different colors of Medpens have no value or use case when you have a Medgun. They continuously try.
Most people don't know what the non-red ones do.
I don't.
And that's
I don't.
bad. Yeah.
I don't know what green is used for and why I would use it, right? Some people do, but very few do. Because why would I need to? I have a Medgun. Like, Zach has posted on Spectrum or Reddit multiple times over the last, like, couple of years, it feels like, justifying I think it's only been about a year, but justifying the idea of taking the pistol away and the Medgun, like, choice thing. Because instead of just dealing with the Medgun's too good. And they haven't really dealt with that. So it's like, it's weird. I don't get it. But that's my thing is I want to see exactly what you mentioned. Like, just Tarkov, I pull out my kit, it's this long ass animation, and I fix my tier 1 arm. It's not fixed. It's not back to 100%. I need to go to a medical facility to get it back to 100%. Because if you want to compare Tarkov to Star Citizen, obviously, like, you leave a raid and then your body's healed by paying money for it or whatever, right? We can do that in a ship, or we can do that at a station or whatever. But something that can stabilize me is much better than the way that we have it. Something different than the way we have it now would be nice. And I think the other thing is backpacks. The backpacks can hold way too much shit. So do backpacks need to be specialized towards holding things like ammo or medical supplies or, I don't know, handheld like gems or whatever from mining? And then, because like, holy, we can hold 30 guns in it, which is great, but it gets to the point where it's like, well, nobody needs a medic because you have everything you need on your own person, right? So,
yeah. Which that's another thing that I would want from the game is like the medical role. One is not specialized really at all. It's just, do you have Medgun, which sort of goes with what you were saying,
or do you like to take med beacons? It's like,
which we'll get to that too.
Yeah,
but the thing that I would like I do not want, with what I said before, to just be able to, grab something out of my backpack and then completely heal myself. I can finish the mission.
Yep.
I do still want that risk there. And one way that I think it would be really cool and incentivize really fun gameplay is like, I can't do that to myself, but my teammate can get me up to up to not full, but like at least an actual like fighting position, right?
True.
Like if I am playing solo and I'm doing some missions, I am more okay with me getting punished for playing a bit too risky, not being able to heal myself up to full, but at least still being able to run away if I need to, type thing, right? Like run out of the bunker, whatever it is.
Sure.
But if I've got a friend with me with medical stuff, I want to be able to say, if I get downed, if I get tier 1 injuries or whatever, my friend should be able to make it so that I can be in a good spot. Now all of a sudden you have a reason to do multiplayer in Star Citizen, imagine.
Yeah.
And you end up in a good spot there. So with that, everything you just said is great, right? Like, yeah, if backpacks were a bit more specialized, or even all gear in general was a bit more specialized to be able to give players options to do that sort of stuff. Like right now, if like people who do realistically role play as medics, because there's not much like to it right now, unfortunately. Which, if you're a person who role plays as medic, let us know how that makes you feel that I said that. But
They get mad.
all you're doing is you're just like taking white and red armor most of the time now, and then you've got everything that everyone's already bringing to missions anyway, right?
Yeah. And I guess, do you want to go more on beacons or do you want to go more on respawn? I guess it's the same thing, right? This was when medical beacons died. Was when this thing came out. Because when this thing came out, I believe when they changed.
Before that,
probably. Well, I think they were dead from launch, but
yeah,
for many reasons.
Yeah.
But when respawning was put on small vehicles like the C8 and things like that, when they were brought back to that, when they were taken away and then they were brought back when they wanted to sell something. Surprise, surprise. Sounds like they're going to take them away again, potentially. Respawning is the kind of the biggest issue in regards to medical gameplay right now, and I think that's probably where we're going to hear the most news. This is a tough topic, like,
yeah,
because right now Star Citizen punishes you in one way, not financially, but your time. It's brutal. I ran into an asteroid today. I was looking at Twitch chat, ran into an asteroid. It's 10 minutes to go back to that mission. That's horrible. So how do we deal with this, dude? Like, you need to be, I think you need to be able to respawn at the location that you're at if you are prepared to, right? If I'm flying a single seater ship, obviously not. I think number one change to be able to change my location for respawn in the mobiGlass.
Yeah.
If I am within a certain amount of gigameters from a location for respawn, I should be able to set it there. If I'm not, I should be able to get closer. That's number one.
Yep.
If I want to run a mission in Hurston, but I mostly hang around Crusader, I should be able to temporarily be able to set it from my mobiGlass. That's my number one.
Yep.
So then I don't need to have a medical vehicle if I don't want to. I can respawn close to the location that I'm at, and then it's not as bad. That solves that problem. Number two, I think quantum travel speeds should be doubled or tripled.
Yeah.
I think tripled.
At the very least right now, where there's nothing to do in between, right?
Yeah.
As a bare minimum. The idea, so first off, the idea of Pyro being bigger than Stanton does not change if you triple everything, right? That stays the same. And the you can even make the fuel usage higher per like second or whatever, just as long as the actual get back into the game is a lot faster.
Yeah. Like, I get it. I am suffering more from this than ever before because I don't upgrade the components of my ships. Because the upgrades get taken out every month. It's why right now I don't see value in it right now. So I am using stock, so I'm flying slower than I normally would. If I had an Atlas or I had this or I had that, it would be a little bit faster. That hurts PvP. Oh my god, how? That helps PvP like so much. It's crazy.
I think the specific example is because people are able to get back into the fight really quickly. You then end up with like just sort of like an infinite battlefield, right? Which can 100% be a problem. I think that doesn't matter because of how big the universe is getting, how many more locations we're getting. That would that would dissipate that.
Yeah. Hold on. Number one, that already happens. Number two, we have not addressed something that we need to address on that subject that we just haven't gotten to yet. You should not be able to infinitely respawn inside of your Idris, Polaris, or any of these other things, right? So that's something that we can touch on in a minute here either. But let's go on to why this does the opposite of hurting PvP. This opens up PvP and protects PvE players more than anything else. Oh no, I got jumped by Space Cutlet, the evil epic pirate. What do? I type in general chat or somewhere, pirate, save me from piracy chat. I am being pirated at OM1 on Crusader. I'll be right there in 1 minute. Just survive. Then people who are actually trying to help you can. The whole idea of just bring a wingman, that has always been the dumbest idea because the wingmen do nothing forever. You need a wingman only when you get caught. If you're able to call in friends when you get caught that are nearby, bam. Then 20 more pirates come is no, because all the pirates that are playing are in that spot. That's not really how that works. Or, holy shit, then you get an escalation and have a really big fight that people talk about on Reddit, gaming news articles, ISC. That literally just helped PvP.
Yeah.
Again.
I also want to address what someone said on YouTube of but then you break the light barrier. We currently already do.
We already
in
do
the game right now.
Some of
lore-wise, we don't. Lore-wise, that's not the case. But we 100% do right now in the game.
Some of the quantum drives go above of light speed. So yeah, throw that one out the window. It's
not an argument.
Yep, game over everything. And when I get a good argument of why we shouldn't speed up these quantum drives, I will accept your argument. But I have yet to see one.
I will say once again, like, my argument is because there is a world where it would be fun if they didn't, like, if they just left it as is, in terms of speeds, and that's involving more content during.
Yeah,
right?
or if we're more chances flying it ourselves, and
more chances of like random encounters happening, and by extension, random loot that we could get during those interdictions, right? Stuff like that could make it more interesting. Where it's like you may not be getting back into the gameplay you were doing when you died, but there's still things happening. There's still things for you to actually enjoy, rather than just, all right, guys, I died. Run to the thing. 5-minute wait. I'll be back. Right. And that kind of sucks. I want to transition from that back into beacons, because there is a little connection there.
Absolutely.
These enormous waiting times. So I honestly think when CRG came up with like the medical beacons, or really like all the beacons, but medical beacons are the biggest example, that they basically just wanted the fuel rats to happen, right? The fuel rats from Elite Dangerous, where people end up in these situations where they're like way out of system, they can't jump anywhere, they got no fuel, and there's this really genuinely like pretty cool dynamic content of people contacting other people to come and help them.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the coolest things about Elite Dangerous, in my opinion, in terms of the community.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for Star Citizen for a couple of reasons right now, but possibly some more reasons in the future. The couple of reasons right now, there is no punishment ever.
I mean, Tier 0 killed that hard.
It's like, oh no, I lost 4 SCU of cargo.
Or, no, I lost 4 magazines for my P4AR. That's more like it. And a couple of med pens.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's, there's just no punishment at the moment. And punishment in the future is still very iffy with the way that we were talking about insurance last year.
Yep.
So like it just seems like that's a real dodge thing. The second thing is the amount of time. The thing with the fuel rats is like first off, because you were so genuinely concerned about losing your stuff, you will wait a very long time. you will turn off your game. You will be waiting in Discord or whatever with this person, talking to them, and wait for like however long it takes.
And sometimes they, like, you watch them and they haven't even moved yet, and they accepted your beacon. It's like, what the hell, man? I hate them so much.
Yeah. So yeah, someone will accept it, and then you just got to wait 30 minutes to an hour because they're either very slow or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that sucks. Cool, because that's downtime that you're not playing the game. So that's just like actively bad gameplay.
Yeah.
And then there's one of the other issues, which is like beacon abuse, which is like, in my opinion, totally okay for someone to do, but it is a reason why people don't use it. Is like, I'll take the beacon so that we can go kill you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right? And so like I think it sort of ebbs and flows how popular that is depending on the patch. But people don't use med beacons because it's a risk that exists.
Sure. Yeah, I think the best solution for it is actual punishments for having to use a hospital and not your own.
Yep.
And then limiting your own. So then it's like, oh shit, I need to get up. Speeding up the quantum travel time so people actually get to you. The beacon only showing up for people in your area.
Yep.
And then now we're talking. I got to wait 1 to 2 minutes for somebody to show up. Does anyone have a problem with that? I don't. Even if they kill me, well, shit. At least I didn't wait 15 minutes for him to kill me, right? So I think that's where that starts to get a little bit better. And I don't know.
There's also like there's a system that they have talked about putting in place, and they did. I want to say it was last year when they were talking about like all the new social updates and stuff. Of like bringing back like an actual rating system, right?
Yeah.
That can also solve that particular problem.
Yeah, I mean, I love what was just typed in Twitch chat. Licensed medics only, medical license earned through reputation. Love that idea.
Yeah,
like you gotta, and it should take a little while. Like you gotta actually want this, right, to be on the med beacon side.
100%. But yeah, the biggest problem right now is it just doesn't matter. It does not matter if you die. So why would I ever use half the medical things, right? I am only losing time, and I will end up losing more time if I don't just backspace.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, like all these weird insurance things, we won't know. Medical may never be good if we don't actually have loss. So we'll see.
Yeah, there needs to be a reason to use it.
Yeah, like why are you trying not to backspace? Right now, and in the past, you were trying not to backspace because you didn't want your body to fall through the ground when you try to go back to it. You didn't want to lose your armor. You didn't want to lose your weapon that you found, right? And that I think maybe should remain. Again, I've been very vocal about my feeling of we should be losing stuff all the time, and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be a big deal. We just buy it back on the market, and we're making decent. It's pretty easy to make money, and you're just buying stuff, and things just flow. And you're playing, and then there's challenging things for you to do out there. There's ways to challenge yourself, and there's ways to just have a good time and keep it pretty simple. But last thing is medbed respawning. We talked slightly about it. We saw it on the sneak peek last week that it kind of looked like it could be something like that. We definitely talked about it last week. But I think for our little section on my end, that's the last thing that I have is that needs to exist. There needs to be a limited number of times that I can use a certain medbed, and the Apollo should have more than any, then the big ships, and then go down from there, right? So that if you're in a combined arms battle with an Idris and a Polaris and this and that, those are their respawn points. Those are targets, right, that you want to go for. And then that can really turn the tide of a battle. Because the people who are like, oh, well, people just come right back into the fight. Yeah, they were. And now it might take a little bit longer for them to do that. And if you actually lose your ships, then the fights end as well. There has to be a time where you cut your losses, so to speak, right?
Imagine, Mike, And that battle example is actually a good reason to not extend, to not bring down the respawn timers. Doesn't defeat the other things, but that is a point in that favor. Is like, if you want to have a good battle where, let's say you're in a system that does not have hospitals, does not have like major spawn locations, which Pyro was never supposed to, is my understanding.
Yeah,
it was supposed to have major spawn locations, and maybe that'll change. Maybe they'll turn back into clinics or something. But, you know, the big org fights that we imagine will exist using the system that they were talking about last year,
in Pyro,
in Pyro or any other system. Oh well, actually, in the 5 systems, I think the other one was going to be Nyx, right? The other lawless system.
Yeah, but they only explained this shield system as, I mean, it was straight up Pyro lore, right? So that's the only thing we have to go on.
But either way, still, let's use that as the example.
Sure.
You're in an org and you're in a big fight at Pyro 4 that's like escalated and all this sort of stuff, but they do keep coming back faster. The whole thing of like, we have to find their staging ground where they've got all these resources to bring back people so we can finish the fight, right? So we can actually win it proper. And then like all of the different gameplay implications that has after that of like, you know, sending out scouts to try to find these locations where they keep respawning from and whatnot. How you could maybe cut off a supply chain that's maybe constantly resupplying them with goo, right? So they can just keep doing it. That sort of stuff is really cool. But yeah, it obviously requires that whole system to exist. And it is what I think they are going to do. The changes to medical coming with the Apollo, my big hope is that it's resource. It is, you have to do something. There is not infinite respawning as of like 4.3.1, please.
Yeah. Or at least a conversation of that's the direction we want to go in at the very least. Is what I'd want to hear. I do have to argue with your point a little bit. I want to talk about Eve in a different way later. You know, we can't go a podcast without talking about it.
It's impossible.
It is. But I was going to talk about it from jump clones, because people are like, oh, well, fast travel's bad, and I'll get into that in just a second. But I don't think we need to find their base and where they keep their resources to end the fight. That would be to end the war. But to end a fight, to end an individual fight would simply be like, hey, we're outnumbered now, and it's time to cut our losses. Because if we keep fighting outnumbered, we're done.
Yeah.
Or let's regroup and then fight again. Instead of, you know, people just trickling in or whatever, which is probably what happens now. So that would be my my whole thing is if you actually have loss, if you actually lose your ships, if it is actually a financial pain, not a time pain, but a financial pain, and again, play the game and you'll make money, it should be okay. But at some point, the leader of that org has to be like, all right, guys, let's go home. GG's.
Yeah.
They won. We lost. Let's think about what we did wrong and do it differently next time. But for war, I agree with you. Like, to end the war would be to just, you know, kill their keepstar and everything in it, and that's it. But yeah, the last thing I would want to talk about that is medical related is we're all clones. Something that Eve does is you could jump from one clone to another. And that clone could be on the other side of the galaxy. But you're only... So fast travel in a game like this, probably very bad, correct? Like, I don't want Oblivion or any Elder Scrolls style fast travel. Like, if I've been there before, I can go back to it instantly. No, that is not what I'm saying at all.
That would suck and would also, like, defeat the purpose of, like, half the ships in the game.
Exactly. But once a day to be able to jump from Orison to Checkmate, to be like, I really feel like doing CZs today.
Yeah.
That's good. But also, hey, my friend is being attacked over here. I need to go help them. Once a day, 24 hours timer on it. That's all you could do. and you could backspace back to where you were. So you kind of get 2. Would you hate that? I'm putting it out there. I don't know if it'll work for Star Citizen. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just putting it out there in the world. I'm not saying that this is what I want to see or perfect. Just throwing it out there.
Sandig, my goat. That's actually a really good point. Like, if you did that, like, having like you would have to have all your gear and all your stuff at that.
Yeah, you take nothing with
which is also how it works at Eve. Like, you have to have all your stuff there.
You're only moving
yourself.
You're only moving your consciousness.
Yes,
that's it.
Yeah, so you don't even keep any of the
no
Eve.
ships.
Obviously, you don't have a person with gear on them, but you wouldn't be.
But you
keeping like your armor or guns.
You do. You have your implants. So like, you don't take those with you.
The clones have different implants.
Yeah, but
when you jump.
Yeah, but the implants that I had in one place, I will not take with me to the other. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So you don't keep any of that. So like there is that is a good like. It could work. It could be okay. It might not be OP type thing. If you wanted it to, you could tie it to some other bit of gameplay.
Each one costs a ton of money to have to maintain.
100%. Right? Yeah. Like someone's got to keep that clone in the freezer.
Yeah.
That requires some costs. You can do that. The more you do it, the more expensive it gets over a certain amount of time. Right? That type of thing.
I think you should just be limited once a day. Not even like more expensive. None of that. The more you have, maybe the more expensive.
I'm more saying like if it did become too powerful, there are lots of ways you could balance it.
True.
Still keep it in game, right? Because you could extend that timer. You could make it cost more money. You could make it XYZ, but still give you the ability to move once a day in a faster way.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. I might. I don't know. I was gonna say I might limit it one further, for only when we've only got 5 systems. Which is, I don't know if I would want it to let you go to a different system, but like, if I could, I don't know. I would actually have to try it. And this is one of the things that I would love CIG to just try. Just see if it works. See if
like tech previews should be used for things like this. Like just potentially game-breaking things. See how it feels.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'd be really interesting.
Yeah. But to summarize, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I've got more still.
Oh, bring it. I thought I'm done. I'm done. But you go ahead.
Yeah. So I think this would be my last like big thing is like so already sort of talked about like medical gameplay isn't very deep. It is pretty much just you have the injury system, which like I said, is kind of cool. Just in practice, I don't love it too much. But like that's a little bit of depth. And then other than that, the med guns just either heal you or fake your healing, right? That's the 2 things they do. I would love if they put more depth into it, whether it be through the crafting system with all of these different items that we've been getting that are constantly talked about, used in medical research for XYZ.
Yeah.
Or even just give me unique healing things, like actually unique healing things. Let me heal my arm, but not only am I healing it for the next 20 minutes, I've got like a recoil bonus, right? Because there's just that many drugs in my system. Give me a reason to actually like a reason to use medical gameplay that isn't just bring me back.
Okay,
make me better.
Yeah, that's a preemptive, like basically drugs in Eve.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, whatever you want to call it, drugs, boosters.
Yep.
Bloody like every sci-fi. I said it last week. Every single sci-fi system in the world has had this. Yeah. Right?
You can do that in SC. You can like pre-stim up a little bit, but it doesn't like it just goes. Oh, if you did get that injury, then it's already dealt with. But the I'm in agreement with that. How nice would it be to like be able to take more G's because you took some drugs, or run a little faster, or carry more, or even mine better. The green zone's just bigger because you took more drugs. something silly like that.
You're just better at doing it. You got the reaction time, right? That type of thing.
Radiation resistance. That's a good one. Yeah.
And once again, the reason why that would be good, like it's not just to. I want to be specific. This isn't just to RPGify the game, which it kind of would a little bit. That's not necessarily bad.
That's not a bad thing.
But my reason is not just for that. It's because once again, that incentivizes people to do medical and to actually have a group of people that have someone with a dedicated medic who is there not just to bring you guys back up, but to also buff you guys a little bit, right? And then you've got then it feels a lot better. If you are in more situations where medical is useful, that's obviously that's the whole thing. So
yeah.
Yep.
So I want it to be fun for players who do not want to be in the career, but I want the career to make sense. And I think the biggest thing to make the career make sense is to speed up the time it takes to get to you. Guys, traveling for 10 minutes with hands off is not good for anything other than
it's just bad
loading.
It's straight up bad gameplay.
Yeah.
No matter how you splice it, it's bad gameplay.
Yeah. Other than loading. You're not even looking at anything interesting around you. Nothing is even flying by you that's interesting. Right? So it's just like somebody goes, but the fidelity. But if you want to argue the fidelity, it's not even like anything cool is flying by you. It's just the same animation over and over again, unless you decided to use an alien ship the next time. Then you get a different animation. So it's like, there's got to be, that's my biggest one. And I think that fixes a lot of problems across the entire game.
It also, I was going to say, it speaks a lot to how, like how sort of core medical gameplay is to like your day-to-day experience is like, if anything changes majorly in other parts of the game, medical experience is also heavily like altered.
Yeah.
Every time. So,
The big thing would be that would kind of break, I think, might be cargo hauling. If we do that, but not even really.
For the speed stuff,
Yeah. Not even that much.
But there's always stuff you could do. Like I said, I think there are more things that they can do without speeding it up. Right now, just speed it up. I don't even care. Just do it.
Like so many chances, but interdiction
right now,
gameplay. Speeding up doesn't change interdiction gameplay. If you have the bubble across the line that they're going, they get bubbled.
It can. Oh, sorry, it doesn't change that, like the actual interdiction. But like if multiple events could happen along your trip, the like time between those events could be like further and further and be okay, because then you would have like if you were doing what's a massive jump, like Magnus to Microtech, the Magnus jump to like Microtech, I think is like 80 million or something. If during
it's a normal day in Pyro, by the way.
Yeah, fair. If like every 20 million-ish something happened, maybe it didn't necessarily need you to like jump out of quantum, but like maybe you needed to repair something, or if there's just things to do along the way, then like the amount of time that jump takes could make sense.
Yeah.
Right now it doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all.
No. So I want the game to be more fun, and I feel like that would be more fun. But ready for callers?
Yeah, I'm down for callers, but after I just say, do people really need constant simulation? Yes. Yes.
And no.
Yes, they do.
And no. Because too much of it's a bad thing.
It is, but they'll still do it. They want it.
I guess. I don't. I want a good game, first and foremost. But all right, bring our first caller in, and hopefully they hear us talking and know to unmute, because you're muted. There you go.
How you doing, Hawk? You're our first caller today.
Hey, Hawk.
Good. Can you guys hear me okay? I am driving hands-free at the moment, so I'm not sure if it's too noisy. Is it too noisy for you guys, or can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you, but are you listening to us through the stream, or are you listening to us through Discord?
I think Discord at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I think it is, but just slightly delayed.
Yeah.
All right, we might have to end the call early just because of it's challenging.
Sorry.
Yeah. But go ahead. Share what you want about medical gameplay, and we won't interject.
Yeah. Sure. So I was going to say, first thing in terms of, it'd be good to be able to set like a primary and secondary respawn location, or like a static and mobile respawn location.
Good one.
So
like
like at the moment, like if you go somewhere and you set your spawn to your ship and your ship gets blown up, you could be sent back from pyro all the way back to microtech. Right?
Horrible.
So
Yeah.
if I can set a static it's terrible. Yeah, it's really bad. So yeah, I think if you could do that, like set a static one at checkmate and then like a mobile one. So if your mobile one gets blown up, then you get sent back to whatever you set your static to. That would be hopefully relatively easy for them to implement sooner rather than later. Yeah, and then I was definitely agree with Croncy on the whole like medical, fleshing that out. So like maybe the medical backpack idea, where you have like whatever, like either individual tools or you just have you take out like the mining gadget, but it's like a medical gadget instead, and you just get like a bit of iPad gameplay where you want to heal something or whatever. Yeah, maybe with that you can heal a tier 3, or you can just mask them more effectively for longer with less blood alcohol level, blood drug level than you would with a Medgun.
Yeah, that was like my main complaint at the start, was like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that I need to no longer have a tier 3. It's just like, if someone spends enough resources and enough time healing me, I should be able to finish what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like like a medical backpack or medical gadgets that take up a fair amount of room, or you actually have to have a specific backpack for it. And then like that means that maybe it's a large backpack, but you only have enough storage for a small backpack, and then the rest of it is you can only slot medical stuff into the rest of the storage, or there's so many different levels they can pull on that. And then everything I was thinking, maybe like with the medical gun, if you get downed and you get revived, you have a debuff for a certain period of time. But if you get revived by like the medical backpack, you don't have a debuff when you get revived.
Yep.
That's a good idea, I think.
Because
yeah, 100%. Like there's so many different things they could do for it, for sure, that would just make the experience a bit more fleshed out.
Yeah, and I think as you say, like if like the certain things only the medical backpack can do, you can't do that to yourself. You have to have someone else that is doing it for you, which is like the benefit of the backpack. Whereas like a medical bed, you can like go and lie down on that and do your solo play and help yourself, but obviously you don't have that, you don't carry that around with you in the field. So to speak.
Yeah, 100%. You just answered basically a commenter in chat as you mentioned that. Is like, you make the distinction of like, a friend can do the thing kind of that a bed can, but I obviously don't have friends, so I have to go get a bed.
Yeah.
Also,
so if you want a solo play, the bed is there. So,
but also the resource to be able to do that should be fairly expensive, heavy to carry.
So require crafting.
So then you're limited on how many you can make, or you could just have a med bed.
Yeah.
But then you have to carry that extra vehicle, which will also have a mass, and then that is heavy to carry in your ship, and then it's all just a matter of choice at that point of what you want, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess it depends what they want to do. Like, do they want a specific medical backpack, or do they just want like medical like green cubes that you put in your backpack that take up a lot of space? It's up to them how they want to implement it, I guess. But yeah. And then along the lines that you were just saying there, Mike, on like the resource side of things, I was always thinking like medical gameplay is almost medicine is all access to medicine is almost free in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Like it's very like I think that's fine for like green goop and med guns and stuff, but like should there be like, so let's say in the future the medical beds you have to have a respawn recharge. The way of thinking they might be implementing that in the future, like a green goop medical bed recharge. Should that be limited to like per citizen per period of time you have your medical stipend, because medical stuff is expensive and rare. Like in Star Wars, like Bacta, like they don't use Bacta on people sometimes because it's like a rare resource. So like should the same thing be in Star Citizen, that if you want to buy it off the government or like the local faction, like you can only have a certain amount. If you want more than that, you're going to have to craft it, and then you have to buy it off players.
That could work, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
So like make it like a player. You can't just like. I think.
Oh. Sorry, you went a bit robotic there.
Yeah.
What I will say, like, it kind of came off one of the things you were mentioning, is like I would like the idea, and I think it would be a easy balancing mechanic, as in once implemented would be easy to balance, because we like balances that are just plus or minus numbers. If medbeds just had a respawn timer, right? Like you've got to imagine it's a lot of and I don't mean like hospital medbeds. I'm talking specifically about like ship ones here. Of like, yeah, if maybe I do have a billion, like I still want resources to be in. So maybe I do have a billion resources in this Apollo that I've just been throwing in there constantly, right? Well, if I have 2 tier 1 beds, maybe only one person can respawn there every 2 minutes, right? If I choose all of the tier 2 beds, maybe people, which I think is it 4 or something like that? I don't remember
3
how
or
many
4.
is it,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
yeah. If I choose to have more of the tier 2 beds, maybe I can still respawn there, but the respawn time is way higher. So per bed, 10, 15 minutes, right? You could implement that sort of stuff, and that would solve some of the problems we were talking about today. And once again, in that specific instance, would also provide choice for you and your teammates, right? So.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that would definitely be a good one. I think I was thinking that as well. Like, would you, depending on the tier, adjust how quickly you could respawn?
Exactly.
And then it might be useful, like in your HUD, if you have an overlay that you could like toggle on and off as to like how long until you can respawn in your mobile medbed. Otherwise, it's going to kick you out to the static if you die too soon.
Yeah, but that only works if we tie in everything else.
But it's like, hey, like you are dead. You can wait 5 minutes if you want, or you could backspace and then go back to thing.
Yeah, and that only works if you tie everything else in with the, well, I have a medic with me, so I can avoid that, or I can call a med beacon and they can get here in a couple minutes because quantum travel doesn't take 6 hours and things like that. So you have other choices. So, because again, we don't want to add waiting gameplay to more of our waiting gameplay, but if you have other options that are less waiting or easier or more prepared, then maybe it won't be so bad. I don't know. But
so you guys would like, rather than, so I think the time is great, but then would you guys think to having like a quota of how much medical resources each person can have access to, or do you think that it wouldn't be enough of a bottleneck because players would just craft it and it would just,
I mean, I think it would help crafting.
Yeah,
but I think you'd have to put that in practice in like a tech preview to see how it works.
Yeah.
Before,
a lot of the things we're going to talk about today are like, this could be cool, but it might be completely dog shit.
Exactly. Well, we won't know until it goes in.
Until we can play it, yeah.
Just throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. But Hawk, I think we went fairly long. It's quite a big queue, so I think we'll let you go. But
cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we appreciate the call.
Cheers, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks. See you. Bye.
Yep. Oh, he bailed out before I can kick him out. All right, our next caller is Zeriel? Zeriel? I think that's how we say it. Like cereal.
Zeriel, you are... Oh, yep. You unmuted. Yep.
Hi, guys. You can hear me?
Yes.
Hello. There you are.
Hello.
All right. So first thing, I think it's very important that they make medical not annoying for everyone who's not trying to do it. And some small things that would not be hard right now to do is, like was mentioned, having multiple sort of backup, like a mobile and a stationary respawn location, so you don't jump from stand to the pyro when you die. When you get in a med bed, instead of having to click medical care, select all of your injuries, say confirm, you just have immediately medical care is on the all, and it does it, because why would you ever heal half of your injuries? I don't a few menus to change your regeneration. But the very first thing would always be like, I'm healing, I'm getting out of the bed. Right, there we go. The medical thing in your hangar, you should be able to use that just to heal. And then if you're dead, you can put your friend in there and teleport him to the hospital to revive. But you should just have access to it. You shouldn't need to go through a tram system all the way to the medical, I feel like, because it's just so much time to heal up if they're going to make injuries really mean something. If they don't make them mean something, no one's going to bother to be a medic. But if they make them mean something, then you get an injury during cargo and you have to then fire. If you're using, like, depending where you are, if you're at a station, it's not bad. You just like one elevator and then you're at the medical. But I've been trying like using my home location of Orison, and like you have to take a whole tram all the way back to the medical center and run across a bridge, and it's ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the weirdest mic
like,
issue, by the way. I've never heard an issue like this before. It randomly
keeps
cuts
going like a little robot.
Yeah, for like a second, and then it comes back. I don't know. So maybe try like plugging your mic in and out or something. It's weird.
I don't know.
I just did it again. It's all right. While you're doing that, we'll talk on what you're talking about. I really like what you said about like if they ever make injuries matter, because right now injuries do matter, but
they're
death
annoying.
doesn't. So that's like it's like the
people just backspace to solve their injuries.
All right, cool.
Like, what are we doing?
Like if I've got tier ones, if I'm gonna have to go to a hospital anyway to clear it, I might as well just backspace.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll end up in the same place I'm going to usually.
Exactly, yeah. Which is why that's like one of the reasons I talked about. I don't really like. I like the concept of the injury system. I don't like the implementation right now, because I could just like I get these absolutely brutal injuries that require me to either go too high in drugs that I then can't operate, or I have to backspace, and that sucks. That's bad gameplay. There's just no coming back. It's like you might as well have just killed me instead.
Yeah. I'm going to join on my phone if you can move me. If that might be ideal.
I mean, probably not. I think it's probably fine to finish the call like this. We're just letting you know, unless he just joined on his phone.
So then.
All right, he's back though, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, that's the one side for.
Okay,
I agree. Like, make death and injuries, make sense. Like, rather than having death worse than injuries, I fully agree with that.
Yep.
I mean, injuries worse than death. Sorry. And then the other thing is, I think that medical gameplay should have, obviously a real loop. Like, you should be able to log in and immediately have just NPC missions that you have to go heal people. And people talked about having a certain amount of rep to sort of unlock player missions. But the same as like bounty hunting, you should just be able to go do bounty hunting, and then maybe a player mission comes up and you take that as well. But you just play the game the whole time. You don't have to wait constantly for someone to want to spend money to actually get their stuff back. And I think it should go both ways. Like, NPCs should also be able to rescue players. If you're sitting there with the beacon out for 20 minutes, it doesn't really make sense. Maybe it should be like a random amount of time where if nobody takes it, you just get rescued and like teleported to a hospital or something. I'm not sure how people feel about that, because it kind of invalidates medics a little bit. But I mean, if you want people to engage with beacons, I think you need to make it reliable.
I think the problem with like NPCs then coming to get you up is you're then, I guess you're still sort of like, I want you to be incentivized to multi-group play so that you don't have to be waiting for that, right? And then NPCs just to do it anyway is like a bit of a cop-out. But I don't know. Maybe if you're waiting longer, that is the incentivization. I don't know.
I'm just thinking, how interesting would medical NPC missions be?
Well, I think.
Well, there would just be combat missions, but like the objective is to get people up, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you go to like the point of, well, I have to determine what the injury is, and then do we go back to this like, do I need the green pen or do I need the orange pen? Is that good? Because like what you started with is, well, I want medical gameplay to be fun for the average player, but I want there to be depth for the medic. And it's like, I think that's what they're trying to do with these different drugs and having that knowledge and all that stuff, but the implementation just hasn't quite hit. So do you teach do you teach wannabe medics in these NPC runs how that stuff works, give them that knowledge, and then they're able to apply it somehow in the real world, but how? That's why they went with the medical gun, so it's easy. I just hit auto, and then we end up with the same thing. So I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think of, is that when I hear NPC missions, I go, well, it needs to have depth, but then do you add so much depth like we have now, where it's just stupid?
Yeah, I think it is difficult to balance, but I also think it's important that people always have something to do. So if you want to do some medical things, okay, maybe it's not such a big deal if we ever reach much bigger player caps on servers. Maybe there'll always be players needing rescue. But right now, you could very easily spend a lot of time just sitting around doing nothing in your Apollo because there's nothing to do.
Yep. Or most of the time, your Apollo sits there by itself with no one in it.
Yeah, I would argue right now, though, like, I do think there are enough people in the servers for that to be a thing. That is not the problem. The problem is people don't want to do medical beacons. They don't, people want to do them. People don't want to sit and wait for medical beacons.
Yeah.
Like, there are plenty of people who are dying, but they just have no reason to wait.
I agree with that. But I think something that could be maybe an interesting addition to medical beacons, at least for the person getting rescued, would be that maybe there's a requirement that the person who takes the mission has to actually put you in a medical bed. And then once you're in the bed, you have the option to say, like, teleport to, my home location or something. So that, and you're invincible in the bed when you do that. So that they are kind of incapable of griefing you, or they can, obviously they just never come or something. But I think people would also be more likely to actually put out a beacon if they felt confident that they were going to get rescued and that the person doing it couldn't get the payout, and also not save them, like rescue them and then shoot them immediately afterwards. I don't know what you think about the teleportation thing, but I just think it makes sense that if you wait for 10 minutes and pay someone money to get a beacon, that they can't just turn around and shoot you. But that's also the fun of Star Citizen, is that anything can happen. So
yeah, 50-50. Right. Like the sandbox appeal is that you never truly know. But if you want people to use your system, there needs to be some amount of trust. And unfortunately, CRG are going to be the ones that have to make that system so that we can trust something to some extent, right?
Yeah, maybe the ratings, like if they add better systems where players can rate their rescuers, like just like an Uber driver.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
It's supposed to be.
That's exactly what they've said they want to do. And the cool thing about that is, if you want to be that other person who does take the medical beacon to steal them, you could spend a couple of days, jamming your rep and mostly helping people. And then when that one juicy target has died with that one piece of armor that you're really after, then you could whatever, bang, and then take their stuff.
Yeah.
Half of that stuff doesn't exist in the game yet, obviously. But that would still exist. So it's like you would have more trust in the person coming to save you, but it would never be 100%.
Yeah. And then one other small thing is they need to make it so that in-game you can find all the information about medical things. Like, if you've got an injury and you can't fly a ship or hold a gun because you've got an arm injury, that should be very apparent, like why you can't do those things as a new player. And the same, like what medical to use. Like, I understand there's depth and skill ceilings and things, but at least I think medical should have a place where players can understand it intuitively quickly. Because it can be very frustrating if it is not. And Star Citizen is terrible with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right.
Zuriel.
Well, let's be about 10 minutes. Yeah. We'll leave you there, Zuriel. We appreciate the call. Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah.
Be good, man.
Thanks, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Yeah, and thanks for getting your mic fixed as well. That was nice. That worked out really smoothly, believe it or not. Just that is not that smooth normally. All right, Ringo
the voice was so clear on the microphone. It's just every now and then, hey, I'm a robot.
Yep, and just the way it was roboting was different than I'd ever heard before. So it was weird. Ringo, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yep.
Are you at the bottom of a well?
No, I'm standing next to a 70-meter long machine. I'm at work.
70-meter long what?
Machine.
Oh, okay.
Machine.
Where we got
anyway.
guys driving trucks, people stand next to the machine. What is today's callers? All right, talk about medical.
Look. Yeah. All right. One, medical needs to be fun for both the victim and the player.
Yes.
I don't want this to be Arma 3, but I think Arma 3 is a good standpoint for medical on their game. I don't know if you ever played Arma.
No.
All right. Well, screw that because everyone mods it anyway. So there's something called Ace Advanced Medical that actually adds what Star System has now: head, body, each arm, each leg, and it can get injured. The difference is you don't have a health bar on it because that's a real sim, not a sci-fi game. You don't have a health bar; you have blood level. So you get injured, you bleed. If you bleed too much, you fall unconscious. I don't think that would work in Star Citizen. But the thing is that a non-medical infantryman can just heal themselves terribly, but get themselves back in the fight. Whereas if a medic comes by, they can either hit them with drugs, which gets them back in the fight fast, but not for long, or they can spend about 2 to 15 minutes healing the guy, and then they're in perfect shape without needing to go to, say, a med station. Or you can just put someone in a med station and they're in here. So that would be an example of a medic with a medical backpack or whatever, because it's supposed to have class on it later. But the medic could, carry a bunch of stuff in his backpack that allows him to do any sort of quicker procedure that allows him to remove an injury altogether.
All right, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's just because I'm Australian and I'm trying to listen to an American accent, or it is because of the sound quality. I understood half of that.
Yeah, same.
I'm down with this. Yeah, sorry.
Ringo, we have to let you go. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I don't do this often.
Really, really hard to understand.
I didn't understand much. I understood one thing, that you want us to be able to remove an injury.
Well, yeah. If you have stitchers or whatever sci-fi stuff you have going on with you, if you bring a bunch of stuff in your inventory as a supposed dedicated medic, you can heal other people and remove their injuries by spending a little bit of time, a little progress bar where you're interacting with a person, and it removes their injury at the cost of resources and a little bit of time, but they're otherwise fully healed. Yeah. Versus, just shoot them with a med gun, which would still work, but it gives them a blood level increase. It temporarily masks their injuries, but eventually that wears off, or they eventually overdose, in which case then you do have to do on-field treatment for real, or, you retreat back to a med bed and just, that instantly solves everything.
Okay, yeah. I can hear you now, so that was good.
Yeah, you sound way better.
Also, a non-medical player should be able to just have a quick first aid kit, and they should just be able to apply that, aka the medic gun now, but maybe not as good. But they should be able to mask their injuries. I'd say even give them back their maximum health, but have it slowly decay.
Yeah.
Because right now, even if you do mask all your injuries, your health is still hard capped at 85 or 60 or 50 or worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. And
so
like
right now,
Tarkov or Daisy, if you run while you have that injury, it re-injures slowly until it's permanently or whatever.
Yeah, either you temporarily patch it up or you permanently hatch it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've a lot of what you just mentioned is kind of what the current system is, but with all of that extra stuff that you said, right? That whole extra level that's at the other side there of people being able to essentially fully heal and not even necessarily fully heal, but at least be in a stage that they can do everything for a little bit, right? And that's where I think the biggest change would come for the game right now.
All right. Well, apologies, but I do have to go. I really hate that the one time I actually had to come to work before noon was the day when you actually talked about medical, as you're one of the more obsessed medical players.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fair enough.
But yeah, I gotta go. Sorry.
Well, guess what? Good. They're gonna announce the actual changes and then get here.
Yeah.
And we'll talk.
Yeah. Then we'll get you in. Yeah.
All right. Gotta go.
All right. Have a good one.
He just was gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, just ran. Oi, Ringo, get off here to the call.
Oh. All right, we're bringing our next caller, BroccoliRob. I just he got off so quickly, I'm not ready for the title. Broccoli, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
What's up, man?
Lovely.
What do you want to talk about?
Not too much. So I just wrote out some kind of point-by-point stuff we were talking about earlier.
Prepared.
I think we need a reason to want or be a medic in, what's ultimately a multiplayer game. I think Medpens, we had them from the jump. I think they're outdated. I think they need to be tuned around the Medgun. Right now, we're all, T1000, take a sniper shot to the chest, duck away for a couple seconds, and we're good to go again. So I think it needs to heal slowly.
Maybe. from just an FPS perspective, I do think it is better to be able to, like, use some type of resource. In this case, essentially like a grenade, right? Because you've got 4 on you at any one time. Plus, obviously, backpack, but they're not equipped by default. I think it is important to be able to just like get back in real quick. Slow healing could still work because, like, if I have to like sit behind a barrel for better terms or whatever, but if I have to like sit behind a barrel for like 10-15 seconds while I'm healing, maybe that's okay. Maybe that doesn't ruin that experience too much. I don't know. That's another one that's like, I would love to try it and see if it sucks.
Yeah, like take a beat. You can't just like jump right back in. You just got to kind of, okay, I just got shot. I should take a second. I do think med guns should just be better than med pens in all regards. Like right now, I feel like it's faster to heal with a med pen than a med gun. And
I do use med pens more than med guns for the most part. Just because it's press a quick button, get back in.
Yeah, you press B, then you press B again because it's not, it's not showing the right animation. Yeah.
But it's better than bring Medgun out. Ooh, actually, that's a P4. Shoot my arm.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking of how many times I have tried to take my med pen out and shot my arm with a gun.
Yeah.
It's a trick. It's when someone's coming up to fight you, they think you're healing, and then you shoot through your arm at them.
It's kind of like a scare them.
Yeah.
All the different med pens we have, I think it's way overcooked. I don't think we need, 7 med pens is what we're at now.
Especially when most of them do not the exact same thing, but a very similar thing. Right?
Yeah.
So you've got the regular med pen. You've got the oxy pen. Those are like unique, right?
Yeah.
One
and they're
heals
very clear.
you,
they make sense.
Yeah, that's also helpful. One says med pen. The other one is oxy pen. It's like, I wonder what those could possibly be for. And then most of the others are mask a symptom of some description, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll mask different ones, but it's mask a symptom. And then the radiation one's actually kind of unique. That's sort of. And then you have the detox pen, right? So a lot of those could probably just be could just be the painkiller pen and like mask symptoms. You don't really need all those ones. But I would be wary of. I would rather change them than remove them, if that makes sense. So like,
yes,
instead of just masking limb pain or whatever, it also, gave me that quick running boost just for like 20-30 seconds or whatever. That's what I would be more in favor of.
Yeah, I don't hate that. And then just like one, it's like a general, just numbs everything, doesn't do as good of a job, doesn't last as long, maybe doesn't affect tier 1s. I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody
like, I guess my complaint would be like the injuries themselves don't have enough depth, so that those med pens they just don't feel like anything to me. It's also like you did just mention, like people will use med pens more than they use the gun. For the purposes of like masking injuries, everyone's just using the gun and just going auto med. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, why are you carrying all these different med pens if you just have the med gun that can do that?
Yeah, and they're also just filling all the loot crates that we're looking for, and it's just like,
yes.
I just think back to there was like a time in Escape from Tarkov where like most of the loot was just like skip, and then they came out with the outpost or whatever, the hideout, and then all of a sudden everything became do I need this or do I not need this right now? I need it, but am I going for that right now? And it was like all of a sudden everything had value again. And I would love to see that happen to medical, is like there's an actual need for these. What if you even just break them down and use it in other medical applications that you might need. Like, okay, I can take them, but I can also salvage them into green goo, blue goo, red goo, and I use that goo for other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's useful. But
and
Anything
also
else?
I think the goo needs to just you need to use a lot more of it. Because I feel like I run through CZs and I've got like half of it used maybe. It feels like it's way too cheap of a product to carry.
Yeah, you know how expensive medical things are in real life? I mean, the Americans in chat will know. Medical's expensive, man. Like, you think that an all-purpose goo that can, like, heal what it does isn't going to be crazy expensive?
Probably should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not right now.
Yeah.
Right? So, that's the other thing. Is expensive stuff is tough.
Yeah, it's tough without a working economy. So it's not, until that comes in soon.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Correct. We got a long time for that.
Yeah. Regarding beacons, I think that it needs to be on like a 5-minute timer. If the person accepting the beacon isn't like so many kilometers away or even in the same system, it just needs to go to an NPC medic. Because, you could be the best medic. I'm down in Daymar. You're in New Babbage. It's like, oh, dude, I'll be there in 25 minutes and I guide you. It's like, I don't have that much time. I don't want to sit here and look at my screen blinking for 25 minutes, hoping that you get here on time.
Yeah.
This is bad gameplay. And then last thing, fast travel once a day. You can only use commercial flights at landing zones, and you have to have an empty backpack.
Interesting. Okay, so it's
essentially the same thing, but like just lore-wise is a different thing that is kind of cool. I wouldn't like if I logged out in Tisa Spaceport. Sorry, not logged out. If I was at Tisa Spaceport, pressed a button, starts to black out a little bit, and then I appear at like somewhere else once a day. Sure, whatever. Like it's just a lore-wise explanation of kind of the same thing that Mike was describing.
I just feel like if you're taking travel, then it's not instant, and for me, it's fast travel's instant.
Yeah, which like we do have fast travel. It's backspace.
Yeah.
So
you literally teleport right into a new clone.
Yeah, so tying it to medical probably makes more lore sense if you wanted to go that route.
So, yeah. All right. Anything else, BroccoliRob?
Right. No, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. No problem. All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
All right. Next caller, Kampu. Kampu, are you there?
Are we doing Kampu?
Yes, I'm there. Just had to mute the stream.
Howdy.
All good.
Yeah. So I got a few things written down, so it can be a bit faster. I think I saw 5-star behind me, so I want to hear that guy. First of all, fast traveling. I was gonna say everyone ignored it. Then the last guy just before I came did it, so I can't say that anymore. But I think personally, unfortunately, I really don't like the idea. I just think it doesn't really work with this idea of Star Citizen. Like, it gets clowned on a bit, but it's all in-world, realistic. You are your person going through this game, right? And then fast traveling, I think it's better to design the game in a way where traveling makes sense and isn't annoying, right? So I like the faster traveling thoughts. Fast travel, I'm not a big fan. I also am not sure if it would work in lore, although it doesn't really matter. But
it kind of like what I just said to the last call. It currently works in lore. Like, yes, obviously there is extra lore parts about like you can only do it so many times before you're gonna die forever and that sort of stuff. But it does exist. It like people are doing it. They're just dying when they're in the process of doing it.
If I set my spawn at Seraphim and I go to a checkmate, I'm in Seraphim 5 seconds later when I die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could make it make sense, but your gameplay concerns are relevant, right? So that's why we talked about like you need to do it. I think this is one you need to test because if it makes the game a lot more, if you're getting back into the action a lot faster in a lot of situations, that is a better game, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you have to design the game to make sense with the travel, and I think SC is really a game where fast travel doesn't make sense because you are so bound to your character, and that dying stuff, of course, that's bad, right? Like, it is the case right now, but that's not really what the idea of Star Citizen is, in my opinion. Of course, I agree it would be nice, but in a 1.0, I wouldn't really like to see that. But like I said, faster traveling, that makes a lot of sense. Who cares if it's faster than light speed, really?
No.
Shrink the numbers between planets.
That is, the faster than light speed thing is like the actual most nothing burger.
Law doesn't matter, right? You can always just
change it. They always do anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because in the lore, we're not traveling faster than light speed, but we are in the game. And if we had to actually travel 20% speed of light in the game right now, you think about how long these jumps would be? Everyone would be screaming from the rooftops to make jumps faster. It's insane.
Yeah. I really love the faster travel though, just because you can have these quick response forces or whatever it's called in EVE. Where you can help out people. And
good point as well.
Yeah.
Something we just don't have.
Yeah. And that reminds me, actually, there is right now like a lot of big org PvP going on. I think it's just like player organized. People are telling each other, let's fight. But that's super cool.
Exactly.
Super cool now that's technically possible.
Imagine you see, like, what would a ship that would be like a Sino in Star Citizen? I don't know, like something just silly, like a cutter scout, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just see it light and you're like, oh shit. And then it's everyone's there.
Yeah, guys, we got signatures popping up. Oh,
yeah. Like that's a really good one as well, is just screw travel altogether. But it's, I don't know if people know this, but it's extremely expensive to do that in EVE Online. Lots of people have lots of money, so they kind of do it willy-nilly. But it is really, like, when I found out what it costs to hire a jump freighter or something like that, it was like, oh, 60 million to move my stuff worth 200 million doesn't seem worth it. So it was like, oh, I don't do that. But yeah, it's something that could be expensive, but as long as if you're in Stanton, then you could do it anywhere in Stanton, but you got to set up and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Artificial transient jump point.
Yeah, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Just a poof and you're there.
That's a really good point, right? That we hadn't brought up is also just the non-typical wormholes that are supposed to exist in the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe we don't need a teleport because like the option of if you want to travel somewhere really fast is just finding a bunch of these.
Yeah, and maybe there's wormholes
from something that would be 3 hours into like 20 minutes because you've found a bunch of wormholes.
Maybe we have wormholes in system, not just from one system to another.
And that feels better than pressing a button and being there. Like I kind of
for sure.
like
I think
that would
be
the feelings, but
yeah, agreed.
Limiting respawns, great, right? I think it masks a little bit the problem that we just don't have loss, but I'm just preaching to the choir here, I think, with that.
Well, the other thing is, like, if you, let's say you do have loss and you don't have limited respawns, you do also still get into the problem of just like naked people running back to their bodies and picking everything up. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that because, like, presumably you lost that fight, so you've lost that ground, and now, like, whether it's you or the NPCs now have like better coverage of that, but you could still end up in the same situation, like of, well, I'll just keep doing it. One time they're gonna miss shooting me, and then I can knock them out, right?
Yeah. So both is needed. Now that you're saying that, I do find injuries right now are just a little bit annoying. We are not game devs, so I feel like it's not really our job to make it less annoying.
Actually, I think you'll find if you listen to the start of the pod today, I am a game dev, and the map is coming out late 2014, early 2015, guys. Don't worry.
Also, it's our job to say what's fun and what's not, and this shit is fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So all tell injuries are annoying, and they figured out. When I first saw these sneak peeks and the like floppy disk looking stuff, I was kind of thinking that you can set your spawn points with that, and then I was thinking that you could have public spawn points in ships like the Apollo or something, so they could be in orbit over Hafer or whatever, and then anyone could just spawn on that ship. Now that I'm saying that, I just realized that what are you going to do on the ship after you spawn there?
Yeah.
Wait, you can't get off the ship.
Yeah.
Jump. Let's go. Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, like, you could still take what you said there and make it make sense. Like, let's say it was an Idris.
Yeah.
That has like a shuttle or something, right?
But it's also like it doesn't necessarily need to be public, but it could be I can see the spawn point on the Idris in my Moby glass, and I can set it for my party or for my org or whatever.
Yeah,
you can use something like that.
Yeah,
I think being able to select spawn points is cool. Limiting the spawn points is cool, and being able to have some stuff to do while you're waiting to get revived or something, like org organizing, or maybe like creating beacons for your stuff to be transported from one base to another. I think all that kind of like spreadsheet gameplay,
hell yeah,
could be cool.
I also think medical crafting should be done in the medical bays of medical ships. Or bases, obviously.
To some extent, yeah. Depends on what you're crafting. Like, if you're crafting, like, actual medical supplies, yes. But then I would also like the level of, like if you're crafting the goo, yes. If you're crafting, like, the gun, maybe not. Maybe that has to be done in, like, a
proper
like a factory type
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Agreed on that. Just
I'm
something.
not sure because is the medical ship now something where you like mass produce this goo?
No,
maybe
because you probably mass produce at a base, but what I'm kind of trying to point out is to like bring that medical career into play is while you're waiting for beacons, what are you doing? If all you want to do is medical, then maybe medical crafting is the thing that you're doing. So you're going out, it has a little bit of cargo space, you're buying the material or you're finding the material, and then you're making it while you're waiting, and that material is what you used to do your medical career, and then you kind of keep it all insular if you want, or you could just buy it from other players if you don't want, depending on how much time you have, right? It's all, that's where I have a job, 16 kids, 14 dogs, and I need to be able to buy the Idris. Like, this is ridiculous, so I'm going to use a bot kind of thing is, well, no, you could just buy it from players in the game, no time wasted, or you can, and it has a cost associated with it, or the cost is your time and you go out and do that stuff. So,
yeah. I also wanted to say just quick thumbs up to medical gameplay, not just healing, but also buffing. Right?
Yeah, that idea was cool.
Nothing more to say about that. And then I wanted to defend CEO of billion-dollar company, Chris Roberts, a little bit. It's off topic.
Someone has to.
But I have to defend
who will protect our boy?
I think his squadron comments were not as ridiculous as everyone was saying. Like, he's the boss of a company that's making this space game, and he wants it to be successful and rival GTA. Is he supposed to say like, "Oh no, this game's gonna suck"?
No, he's supposed to just be realistic.
And I 100% I know where he's coming from, but he could have just said, "I'm hoping it's good." Like, he didn't have to say, I'm hoping it's going to be as good as GTA 6. Yeah. That's just wild, man.
There was also a little bit of mistranslation, because I also saw people say he hopes to be almost as big as GTA, right?
Also
I feel like
insane.
That's a bit more reasonable.
Thank you.
But that's the thing. It's just like, he could have changed like 2 words and it would have been fine. No one would have cared. It's just like, it's just, I don't know.
1 million
for reference,
views,
I don't think
200 million views.
Yeah.
I also
say don't think it matters that much. I also want to point out, I don't think this is like, it was just kind of the funny news of
It's
last
just another
week.
example of how just insane the man is.
Yeah, but if he wasn't insane, we wouldn't have Star Citizen, to be fair.
We don't have Star Citizen.
Because
he's insane.
But
So-
we have a lot of stuff that doesn't exist. It wouldn't exist without it. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And I also do think Squadron is not as niche as some people say. Right? It's not Star Citizen.
No.
It's
Single player
basically
story
a
game.
first person. Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a first person shooter with spaceships.
And people like sci-fi. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It isn't. It is nicher than GTA 6 is.
Yeah,
It's not crazy niche. It's not like
yeah.
it's not
And I
like.
think they
Well, I mean,
release
like
it
people,
consoles also.
the amount of people in this community that play like Arma. Arma is a very niche game.
Yeah.
Right. Very popular, but it is very niche. Like Squadron is not as niche as that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's like tens of millions of people who will love that game who've never heard about it before. Maybe Star Citizen. But not that, right?
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Maybe
I
that
never.
number is crazy, but
I hope you're right, but we'll see. Okay, but we got to let you go though because 3 more
Yeah,
callers,
I'm
15
done.
minutes to do it. So we'll let you go, man. But thanks for the
Yeah,
for the
cheers
laugh
for
at the
calling
end. Talk
Yeah.
to you. But very good call. All right, bye now.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
All right, next caller, the 5-star.
Hello.
5-star.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Barely. I'll try and make it work.
Everyone's calling from inside a car today. It
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah, I'm on the road today. I'm just coming off a job.
All good. Let me see if I can work it.
When we find out they all work together.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to share an observation I made this week.
Mhm.
So I'm sure you guys have heard some new medical rooms have been added to the UGS. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
UGFs. I have
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
idea.
There's like an
In the-
extra
in the
little
population.
wing now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had heard about it. This was after I did, after the patch came out and I did my my video. So I was like, okay, yeah, let me go and check it out. So I went to look for a couple of them, and I couldn't find them. I went to like 3 bunkers and they weren't there. So I was like,
Yeah.
what is the deal with this? So some of my workmates came, and they were like, oh, hey, man, you just have to take the missions that say defend or protect.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. So we went and did it, and lo and behold, we found the wing. Anytime it was a mission that said defend or protect, and those bunkers are specifically the bunkers that spawn friendly AI.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to
So-
say those missions usually have friendly AI. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm starting to think that can't be a coincidence, that it's just at those bunkers. Because to me, what that tells me is they're planning some kind of like AI medical mission, and that's why it has to be at those bunkers. Because if not, the UGFs are a pretty old asset, right, Mike? Like, how long have those been in the game?
Forever.
Before I
Correct.
even started, I think.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
I refuse to believe they update that asset in any way without some kind of intent. And
They did.
if it's
To be
not-
fair, they did sort of update them 2 years ago. They started putting like all the set dressing and stuff around them a lot more and making them.
But that
look
was
a little
only
bit
above.
unique. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I do agree. I don't think they would put these in unless there was a purpose. So I think you're 100% on the money.
Yeah, and it's like a whole extra room, but what I found really interesting was that it's just where the AI are. So I'm
Yeah.
starting to think maybe we might have a mission coming where it's like, hey, this guard is down, go resuscitate him, maybe drag him into that room or something.
Regen
I don't know,
crisis
but
story
that's how
stuff.
my year started.
Yeah. It's probably
also-
prep for Regen crisis is my guess.
Yeah. I mean, it could also just straight up be to do with what they're talking about for 4.3.1. Like whatever these changes are to medical might require these now.
Yeah. 'Cause I was thinking it could just be an apparatus, like that thing in the sneak peek. I don't know. But a really interesting thing from the SDO, John Crew very specifically stated, we want to get the medical beacons working, but we want to also gameplay. And he said, hopefully that's a go for September, but if not, shortly after.
Yep.
So to me, the writing's on the wall. There's something's going to happen with medical gameplay at UGS of some kind. Maybe
Okay.
it's something small and stupid. Maybe it's something really cool like what I think, but we'll find out in the next few weeks, I suppose.
Yeah, hopefully this coming week. Like we said, we haven't had an Evo yet for 4.3.1. It's got to be soon. You imagine they've been pretty relatively on cadence with their patches this year. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I figure today's the 31st, right? So I mean, within the next 2 weeks, we gotta get like an ISC or something on the Apollo.
No ISCs or anything. Actually, do you reckon they'll? So we're not getting ISCs. Do you reckon we still get a behind the ships of the Apollo when it releases?
Yeah,
bro,
for sure.
Garrett, bro. Give me
Just
something.
probably that they've made like 6 months ago or something.
Where's our talk with Benoit? What happened to that?
For real, dude.
Ship sale time. Sorry, ship showdown SCL. More important. It was a good one.
Well, he said we would have a talk with Benoit. That's what CitizenCon is. It's just a talk with Benoit.
You know what?
Else.
Probably. I mean, it could be one of the things. It could be one of the things. So fair enough. But
Nintendo Direct ISC. But yeah, one last thing before I let y'all go.
Right.
I just want to harp on what one of the previous callers said. I really do think like a CMS type object from Tarkov would be really good.
CMS is like surgery.
Yeah, like something physicalized that you have to like stop what you're doing and physically do that thing, and then your leg can go from like a tier 2 to a tier 3, and now you can fix all your pipe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Agreed.
I think
wholeheartedly agreed. And you're like literally stationary, and it's loud as hell. And if we ever get FPS radar, then it's noisy from that standpoint too, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
All right, 5-star.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Cheers to the call as always.
Yep. Be
Bye,
good
guys.
now. Bye now. Yeah, I forgot about that. I saw that last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just kind of like an empty room, but it's labeled like medical facility. So it's weird. Please, Habinerosauce, have a normal mic. It doesn't have to be good. A normal mic.
What's up, guys? I'm in a car. I'm on my way.
What's up, Brother Cups?
Oh my God, it's so silky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like, you get started talking about medical gameplay and how many other things have to like be in play as well to make it work.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. One of the things I've been thinking about,
interconnected to just like every part of the game.
One of the things I've been thinking about is like CIG wields so much power, like they could just get rid of the backspace button, and all of a sudden, all the medical gameplay we have to like do, because you can't just back out in the menu either, because you'll wake up in your hab dead anyway. But there's a couple of things that I was listening to for the last couple of conversations I wrote down as kind of interesting ideas. But cool idea. Choose where you respawn. So you were talking, Mike, about choose where you respawn mechanic. You just put it out to people, like kind of like Star Wars Battlefront, where you get to choose A, B, C, or Battlefield. You get to see. I thought that would be really interesting, and I also thought, how cool would it be if there was some sort of introduction gameplay there? I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, like with the Apollo, like how cool would it be to just steal someone's respawn? Like, welcome to the swamp, brother, and he just spawns in. You're like, you spawned in a prison cell or something like that. And now that's about the end. Exactly, right. Yeah. And so now that's the because how many times have I been to Hathor and I completely wipe out whoever is there, and I'm like ready to start mining, and all of a sudden an A2 just comes in and rams my Polaris or something like that because they got to respawn, come back in. It's the lamest thing in the world.
Yeah, and if they killed you respawn in your Polaris and then you go kill them. It's just the dumbest thing.
Just a complete cycle that keeps going. So obviously there's, reputation, insurance, death of a spaceman, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
I would really love hacking gameplay to be tied to that. Like if I am able to be in a fight with someone, maybe I can't take down the Polaris, but maybe I can disable respawns on it for like 10 minutes or something, right? And then I have whatever I can do because of that, I think would be interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would, because I've liked the respawn too, because I've definitely like boarded someone else's Idris and set my respawn in there and just, peppered them until I could get their thing to self-destruct. But obviously, whatever CIG does to balance, they come up with a gameplay and the community will have to like adjust around it, right? Because we keep talking about there's no culture. It takes, 10 minutes for someone to come in and do medical, but we don't know, like, once they implement any changes, what if there is, the game culture changes? And all of a sudden there are medics that are readily available in every single system, right? And so you really only have to wait for 2 minutes. to make that happen. One of the things I noted as one of the things I hate about medical, I don't think it's been mentioned, is I don't like the downed mechanic. And I wanted to push that to you guys. Other games like Apex Legends, you get down and you're still able to move.
Yes.
Give me a crawl.
Okay, this has been mentioned. So the plan that never happened, classic Chris Roberts and Richard Tyrer conversations, the plans that just never happen, is he sat there and he told us that the plan is for you to go into a down state, that you can move, but not only that you can move to get to cover and safety, but that you can also respawn yourself. Like re-heal yourself in that state one time, and then if you go down again, you're down.
Right. And that would be so interesting for like even PvP and all that sort of stuff, because okay, down once, okay, down twice, that guy's done, and that'd be really interesting. Or even just like because we already have the tier 1 system, just give me all tier 1s and then I have to hobble. Because have you ever tried to fly with a tier 1 arm injury or something like that?
It's so bad.
It's so bad, yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't really work.
Just survive with the gun. It's like you could shoot once and then it goes down. It's brutal.
Yeah. There's a lot of just like general fun things as well that are in other games that this game, it's so sim-like, it kind of takes the fun away. So that would be one of those things that makes it kind of more fun. Is like, okay, we got 3 guys that are hobbling around. You're like, okay, where's the 4th? You're looking for the 4th guy that's alive. I just think it'd be kind of funny.
But Habanero, we take it to the point of realism, and then 15 years later, we bring it back to the point of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got about 10 more years.
Yeah, 10 more years. We'll get there. We just keep hoping.
What else are you going to say? Sorry, before.
No, you're totally good. I'm just like working. Right. I'm trying to honor the next guy behind me and all that sort of stuff.
You're good.
So
yeah, we're good.
You're good. A couple things. The other games that kind of do stuff. My Twitch just unmuted itself, so I was hearing myself again. But the Sea of Thieves. So Croncy, you play Sea of Thieves, right? You've played it.
Yeah,
I have as well. Yeah.
There are things. Oh, you have? Okay, so there are things that like other games do to have more fun with your crew. Like I'm thinking like that Firefly Fleet feel, where you have like the cook, you have the medic, you have the ace pilot, and all that sort of stuff. And we're talking about buffs. Like, how cool would it be if I go kill the worm and I get this worm juice that if I consume it, or they add it to, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the medical terminals, there's those little boxes that are underneath them now on every ship.
Yeah.
That you open the door and they open up. I'm like, put that worm juice in there. Give me a 5% or, health debuff. But I'm also resistant against, radiation. Or put a drug,
supercharge my goo.
Right. Or give me some sort of drug in my system that makes me run really fast, but I can't breathe. I have no oxygen and I'm constantly running out of breath, stuff like that. Give me, I specifically said right here, I was like, give me more chess pieces to play with, more different options that I can, the better chess player gets to win, Yeah.
One of my favorite things about like the idea of like, once again, like boosters, right? Which is once again sort of what you're describing, just in a different form. That sounds very cool, and I kind of like it.
It sounds also weird, but okay. I'm sitting here going, "What is this conversation?"
I love it. Let's throw some stuff in a cauldron and then put it in my body and see what happens.
Well, yes, but worm and worm juice and
what else are you going to use, Mike? But yeah, the one reason why I like that in gameplay is first off, it means you've got like interesting tools for PvE. Obviously, you can approach those things differently. In a PvP perspective, it's really cool because you always have that like, hey, you can never balance the game, but you can always get it to a point. Hopefully, if the game is balanced well, that like the absolute best player in the best ship and like the second best player in the best ship, there's like a couple of percentage points difference between the two.
Yeah. And
I like introducing things that can fight that a little bit. Boosters can. So like you could choose a booster that could counter them for some respect, right? That sort of stuff's really cool. I like that. It's It could be bad too, in the way that like, well, maybe there's one booster that's too good, so everyone's still just on the same playing field. But if you give us enough options, that introduction of like, well, they could have something better than me or whatever, or something that counters me, makes those sort of fights a lot more interesting.
And it doesn't always have to be PvP. Like, I would love for a medic to be able to put, a spicy food together, and all of a sudden, if I'm on a cold planet, I just am warmer. Or a really cold juice, cruise. Those really stupid game mechanics that don't really make sense, but it just gives you a little bit, people can do stuff while you're in quantum travel. I mean, we're talking about faster quantum travel, so that wouldn't be a deal there. But
it still will
just,
take
but if
time.
Once again, if there's something to do.
Yeah. It could still take time, just not 10 minutes to like, I'm being attacked, I'm dead before you can get there. I'm down, I gotta wait 15 minutes for you. Like, we can solve these problems by just speeding those things up. And I don't think it breaks cargo hauling, because the cargo hauling risk should come from being pirated.
But yeah, it gives medical people more to do than just respond to medical beacons. Just try to go and they could be prepping their inventory of all their different bonuses and buffs, or they could be prepping all that sort of stuff and making things better. And obviously, like when crafting comes in, what happens when we get a better crafting tool that is more efficient at healing people or something like that? I don't know. Obviously, you can just go down the rabbit trail, the rabbit hole of all the different game mechanics that could change medical big gameplay. But
yeah, for sure. Anything else before we let you go? Okay, cool. We'll
thanks.
Go to the next one, but thank you, and thank you for having a good mic. Very nice.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
See you guys.
Bye now. Our final caller is HighLord. HighLord helps.
How you doing, HighLord?
More than helps me run my org 30K Inc. So !org in chat if you want to join us. HighLord, what do you want to talk about?
Just want to quickly, because I know we've got very little time, run through some things for medical and the way we could try balance it around how the game is currently.
Yeah.
So looking back at other games, we could keep the respawning in all tiers of medical bed by setting respawn timers on them for when you last use them.
Yeah.
Tier 3, half an hour. Tier 2, 15 minutes. Tier 1, 5 minutes. And also limiting the number of people that can imprint in a ship. So if it's a tier 3 bed, so the lowest tier, only allowing 5 people per bed. So the more ships with more beds can then cope with more people respawning in them. But then pirates could come in and rip out the server blade that contains all the imprints. And then that could be a way for pirates to clear a ship's imprints without them being the ship owner and using the admin terminal.
Even just imagine you're tied a little bit to engineering, right? Where it's like the power that's in the medical bay gets shot at by an NPC.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh crap, I need to make sure we can respawn. Now you've got to go back in there and fix it, right?
Yeah, rip the fuse out, pull out the server blade, whatever.
Engineering, we got a lot to figure. We got a lot to see there. We'll see.
That's next week's topic. What do you want to be in engineering?
I might need to be here next week. God damn it.
No. We got to wait till that comes in a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. I'm looking forward to that. But so that's a nice way for medbeds to be functional at all tiers. I want to talk about the medgun, and it's very good. I only use a medpen if I'm down to sub 20% health because it heals you to full.
Yeah.
So if I'm taking 5% damage, it's the medgun. And if you're doing that every 2 minutes when you take a bullet, then I never tend to use I
use it in panic as well.
A load of damage.
Because it works more consistently. Because the medgun, it's you have that delay and it pops out, pops back in, and I don't know if it's actually going to work. So if I'm in trouble, I use a medpen.
I also I would probably use it more like what you said, HighLord, if medpens weren't on there weren't 2 medpens on every single body that you find.
Yeah.
Right? If honestly straight up,
I come out with 100 in every CZ.
I'm probably still using a med pen because I've got 30 in my backpack from what I've looted, from the other people.
But you got to be careful. Blood drug level on those.
Yeah. So that's the next thing I want to go through is the medgun currently has 200% ammo. I used an entire medgun in the Hathor run yesterday that we did.
Yeah.
I had tier 3 head, tier 3 bow on both arms, and a tier 2 chest injury, and I was down to 50% health. And so I was just burning through the Medgun continuously. It was insane with the number of NPCs, which I really enjoyed. And then when I was below 50% health, it was like, I can't use a med pen because it's just going to increase my drug level too much every time I get shot.
Yeah.
So it kind of med pens became worthless for me. But in terms of balancing the Medgun, I would probably remove the auto heal and make it purely that advanced screen. So you have to like know what drug you need. So if you need like just health, it's the top one. If you need XYZ, then you can balance it around. And then when they bring in the medical armor, that UI can auto tell you what you need. So you get rid of the auto button, you then have to move the sliders, and then you can over drug yourself.
Yeah.
So it kind of nerfs the medgun because it is too good. There is no reason to take a pistol because the medgun take up that slot.
Yeah.
It's number 3, so it's the quickest button to hit.
I mean, the Volt pistol's really good too. So if they just nerf the medgun a little bit, now you kind of have a choice.
And then you can have it with a medic. The medic's got medical armor. They've got the medgun instead of a pistol, so they're good at healing Brunleys or themselves and things. And that would be a really nice way to balance medical or a medic in like a team of people running around. You have a designated medic. Be great. But I would like the med pens or just the pens, the drug pens, to be buffs rather than just fixes.
That could be your drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very glad that a lot of people have been agreeing with us that we need like a buff, like some aspect being a buff. Yeah,
it's that classic like MMO RPG type thing where you have a buff class or you have like potions and things in D&D that can buff you like focus, haste, or whatever. So like you have like a focus drug for the snipers, and that lasts for 5 minutes. Is 20% drug level, but when you zoom in, you have 0 wobble. Or you have like a tank drug that's like the pain suppressant, and it gives you an actual 20% HP. And then if you're going in heavy armor plus that drug, you go in, you have more HP, and you're the tank, and so on and so forth. So it gives you the ability to make classes without having to have stats and like skill points and different things.
Also, buffs can come with negatives. I get a buff to health, but I get a negative to XYZ. So it doesn't have to be.
Like you have a speed buff, but then aiming, good luck. Like you're wibbling over the place, like you're
tank buff, but you get more injuries.
Because you've just of course, if you have a speed buff, you're going to be aiming worse because you're tweaking out as you run into the. Of course, you could make it make sense, so it's good.
Like there's so many things they could do with that without it being like a med crate in a thing. I only take the one red pen that's in there because all of the other ones are not worth equipping. I've got 4 slots. I don't want to be like tabbing through looking for the med pen like when I need to heal, rather than pulling out decon, this.
Yeah.
And they've you just don't.
And
the
only quick way to use the pens is if they're attached to your body, and then you can hold 4 and be like, oh, that's decon. Okay, I need that pen. But
no. But I do like the way they've done one of the decon pens where it's half health, half radiation. I would like to see more of that, or the ability for us to mix the pens, so we can have like, okay, I use these 2 buffs. They give me half, rather than like a full HP buff and a full oxygen buff. It gives 50% HP and 50% oxygen. So you're like splitting the pen up in 2 to use the slots better.
Yeah.
Give me crafting where instead of making a med pen, I am making a Croncy pen. And I get to decide how much of whatever's in like the thing, right?
Yeah, you could also like disguise them as med pens and just like do poison pens, and so like you just have lead poison pens on you and troll the guy who loots you.
Oh my
they
god!
Stab
Like
themselves and they suddenly go down.
Daisy Bambi content.
That's
like feeding them bleach and stuff.
You just what is it? A stank rat on Tarkov that's always like putting like a bunch of like medical supplies down to like trick people and then shoot them. It's just a bunch of med pens around a body.
Like, why are these not working? Why am I getting drunk? Oh, I see what's happened here.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just filled with water. But yeah, so that was kind of like my points on medical and my thoughts around it. Very simple, very like easy to do. Use the armor, fix beds. But also, people were talking about quantum travel and things, which made me think of ways that we could speed up quantum travel by when you jump from A to B, you leave a little marker. So you start like a quantum tunnel between, like, say, Everest Harbor and Seraphim or Crusader and Hurston. And so the more people that use that route and go through that like point that in space that you've made, speeds it up. So the first person to jump in a new route, it uses more quantum fuel, it uses more, it's a slower speed. Second person, less fuel, more speed, so on and so forth. So you then get travel lanes that are beneficial for people to use.
It's the opposite of traffic.
And
the
pirates
more
know
people
where
that
to
use
go.
it, the faster you go. But yeah, it also means pirates can get there faster, right?
They go, oh look, that's a chunky quantum lane because it's super quick to get from A to B. People are using
all
it.
of a
I
sudden,
know where to send the mantis.
The only way to know to find these lanes is to use an exploration ship. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on. Does your character actually have a point now? Maybe.
I fixed the game. The game has been fixed.
You fixed everything.
Game fixed. I really like that idea, HighLord. I think that's really cool. That'd be really interesting.
And you go around and you just see like a little like point of light where an orc uses a certain route regularly and it leads back to their base. And then you're just going around randomly and it leads to their space station that no one else has like a quantum marker for. And you go down the route and you suddenly like appear into where they've set up or where they base themselves from, like Grimhex, and go, run away. And then like you can then sell back those coordinates, like going, I know where this org bases all their stuff out of. So if you want to go pirate this particular org, this is where they live. And then go from there. So ways of doing things.
Like it.
All right. That was 10 minutes. So we'll leave you there, HighLord. But thank you very much for the call. That was awesome. Love the idea. Love that quantum idea. I think it's dope as hell.
Thank you very much for having me. So, I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, man.
Talk to you tomorrow, HighLord.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was it. We made it through. I think we got some cool stuff on the board there that could help.
Yeah. It's once again, I'm really happy that like a lot of people
we didn't have arguments
of there being some types of buffs. Not really, no.
Everybody just wants it to be better.
Chat, which is always happens.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, there was no consensus. Obviously, no one ever said, "Nah, medical's good, don't touch it."
Yeah.
So clearly it needs some work no matter what.
Yeah.
And I mean, CRG know that. They have told us as much.
Sure.
The question is, how much are they going to change it? And in what time frame?
Yeah. We'll see. But that's where we'll leave you guys. So as always, hit the like button. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. Maybe CitizenCom will give us that little buff. And then, follow myself and Croncy on Twitch because we live stream on Twitch and all that. So, yeah, medical. I guess the dog has heard somebody. That scared the crap out of me. That's a good time to say goodbye. My wife just came home and she got scared. Yep. But so that's where we'll leave it. Thank you. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Check us out and let us know in the comments what you want to see from medical gameplay. All right?
Yes.
All right. Catch you guys. And don't forget, my dog just did to answer the call.
To answer the bark?